Alex Bean with KSI Press from Ty Flores, who returns to action December 17th at Unified 49. Ty, how are you?
Doing good. Training hard. Training hard. Tired. The
What'd you work
usual.
on today?
Today we had strength and conditioning. We did a little striking, and then we did some live wrestling today.
Gotcha, man. 16 days out. How are you feeling?
Was it really 16 days out? Yeah. Feeling really good actually. Training's been going fantastic. Diet's really good, so just ready for it to be here.
Awesome, man. Before we talk about your upcoming fight, I have a very important question. Where did Big Medicine come from?
It was a nickname some of the guys gave me back from high school from our history class. There was some Native American name that, and they thought it was funny. And then I told my old roommate about it, and he thought it was hilarious. And he's like, "You should use that as your fight nickname." And I was like, "No, no." And then he took me. It was like my last fight at 85, and I was just dead. And he took me to weigh-ins. And when they're like, you have to fill out all the paperwork, like, do you have a nickname in this? And I was like, no. And he's like, Pig Medicine, put down Pig Medicine. And I think he actually even wrote it in for me because I was just tired. And then ever since then, it's been Big Medicine.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. I wanted to go back to your fight in March before we get to your upcoming fight, man.
Yeah.
What'd you learn from that fight?
Uh, man, that fight was frustrating. I mean, it's one of those where it's like, I mean, personally, I always hate when guys like after a loss they like say, "Oh, this or that." It's like we all kind of do it, but you don't want to take anything away from the guy that won. I mean, he won. It was what it was. But I did feel like I was a better fighter. I definitely got caught, which happens, especially in the heavier weight classes and against a good guy coming out of a good gym. Um, but I had a terrible weight cut. I had probably the worst weight cut I've ever had. And actually, it was I thought the worst weight cut I had was the last time I went down to 85 because like I couldn't open my hands; they were cramping. And I remember like 2 minutes into that fight, I accidentally poked him in the eye. And I was very in shape for that fight. I was training hard, and I was like, "Shit, I'm gassed." Like it was like I started that cut from 228 down to 185, and then I'm like, I got to go up to 205. The past one, dude, something was wrong with me. I just wasn't eating. I lost like 10 pounds in the span of 2 days, like about a week or so before the fight. Things just weren't right, man. And I learned a lot about diet, nutrition, and just forcing myself to eat when I don't feel like it because it was bad. I mean, after I weighed in, I could not hold down food for 12 hours, just about 12 hours. I mean, I was like having to walk on the sides of my feet because my feet were cramping so bad and my hands. Um, and I did like what I normally did for, weight cutting and all of that. It's just, I think it was leading up to that. Like, I just wasn't eating or whatever. And I just was like, oh, I'll tough it out. And I was cut off the weight and it just fucked me up pretty bad. I mean, even the day of the fight, I kind of had like an early morning shakeout with my coach, and it was like, I mean, he even knew something was wrong. He's like, I mean, I was having like vertigo and whatnot. So again, not to make excuses, take anything away from George, but I just I don't feel like I got to perform like I did. I mean, I rewatched the fight and there was just shots where it's like those shots shouldn't have stumbled me. Like I trained with guys like Curtis Blades, who just that dude doesn't even know how hard he hits. You know what I mean? And dude, it's just one of those like my chin was just gone that fight from the weight cut. I think so. That's been definitely on my mind since then. Been taking the weight cutting a lot more seriously because I mean it can make or break fights. You know what I mean?
How the fuck did you make middleweight before?
How oh, dude, fucking not with a smile on my face. That's for damn sure. I mean, it was literally like it was the dumbest way ever. I mean, it was like I actually so I missed weighted. I think I fought. I had a catch weight at 95 because I'm like, dude, I can't make it. And then 3 weeks later, I fought for LFA. I fought this undefeated guy, in his hometown, and it was just like a good opportunity. And they're like, yeah, I mean, if you want to make 85, and then I missed weight for that one because it was 3 weeks later. And I'm like, dude, I can't make 85. And then my last fight at 85, they gave me a UFC vet, James Bachmandick, because I was gonna go up to 205, but they're like, no, dude, just fight this UFC vet, it'll be great. And I'm like, fuck, I can't pass that up. So I did it. And it was like, but my coach, who was the promoter, was like, dude, you are not missing weight this time. Like, he was on my ass, like, stepping on the scale every single day. And it, like, again, it wasn't fun. I remember actually what actually helped me was I ruined it. I totally ruined it. This is actually a funny story. So I used a one of those saunas where your head sticks out, like the portable ones. If you've seen
Yeah.
the guys at the UFC use, we use them for the contender, right? Because I've said that for years. As long as my head's not in it, I can be fine, right? But my roommate, the same one that dropped me off and gave me the nickname, this was that same fight. He was my old roommate. He's a bit of a dick. And what he did was, mine was a steamer. It wasn't like a sauna, it was a steamer. And this fucking guy took a portable steamer and he put it in the back, but he didn't tell me, right? So like I had no idea, and I'm like, dude, it is scalding hot. Like it was literally like because there was water in the sauna, and if my feet like touched it, it was like I felt like I was a lobster, like getting boiled. It was that hot. And I stayed in there like 30 minutes straight. It wasn't until after that where he was like, "Oh yeah, I put this in." And I'm like, "Dude, what the fuck, man?" Like I was dying. But that's honestly, I mean, it sucked. He's an asshole for that. But it probably helped me make weight. That and I was watching a show, Letterkenny. I don't know if you ever saw it, but that I was watching. It was like my very very first time ever watching Letterkenny, and it was when I was cutting weight for that last fight, and it was just I was cracking up, and that helped. But I still, almost died, but it was what it was.
That's wild, man. What were the emotions like after your fight in March? Because that was a big fight. It was most likely you would have got a call for the UFC if you would have got that win. Like, what were the emotions like?
I was pissed, man. I was pissed. Like I was mad at myself. You know what I mean? Like again, like I'll always preface it by saying, like I think out of every guy I fought, there's like amateur and pro. There's maybe like two guys I can say like I haven't really liked. So nothing against George at all, right? Like he seems like a cool guy. He trains under a good gym, but it's like even if I still would have lost, I feel like I could have done a lot more. So I was just really pissed off at myself. You know what I mean? So like he took me down. That was kind of his bread and butter. I defended everything. I got back up, and I remember like seeing in his face like he was kind of getting gassed a little bit. I felt like I was doing fine in the striking exchanges, and then he caught me. He stumbled me before, and I was just think like in the fight, I'm like, I was like in denial. I'm like that he didn't like just like stumble me with a punch. Like that's fucking nothing. You know what I mean? But it was just like I said, I think just from the weight cut. So then afterwards, I mean, I was just pissed off. I was mad at myself because it's like I knew the past couple of weeks, like my diet was just non-existent. Really, I wasn't eating a whole lot. Um, I just wasn't hungry. I just was tired. I was sleeping a lot. I slacked off on the diet. So it's just one of those like, man, if you get like beat fair and square, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And of course, that is what it is. But it's one of those like, damn, man, like how much of that was like my own self? You know what I mean? Like I lost on contender series and Dustin Jacoby for the better part of 2 rounds just beat my ass. Just world championship kickboxer, and I was able to take all those punches. And he was probably the hardest hitter I've gone against. And then all of a sudden that's the one that TKOs me. So those are weird, but like again, it was at least it was something like I'm mad about it. Um, but it was a while ago, and then since then it's just been like, all right, well, don't do that again. You know what I mean? Like you have to like deal with what you can control, and it's like, all right, maybe the fight would have gone different if you had, dieted correctly and cut correctly, but there's no use crying over spilt milk. Like it is what it is. You know what I mean? You lost the fight. The only thing you can do is just moving forward. You can make sure not to screw that up again. So,
Gotcha, man. Thanks for sharing that. Why the long layoff?
man, I switched up management companies. I was trying to get fights, man. Like guys just don't want to scrap. I don't know. I mean, I was trying to do heavyweight to light heavyweight. I was actually supposed to fight in July, end of July, I want to say. maybe beginning of August, I think it was. So that one fell through, and then I go out elk hunting every September. That's like a thing I do. So I wasn't gonna do anything then, and then I was gonna fight the guy for the CFFC heavyweight strap in October, but then he decided to go fight some bum. I thought that would have been a good fight for me. Um, I don't know. I mean, guys, like I've been training. I've been ready. You know what I mean? I haven't really taken a whole lot of time off, and I've been waiting. So,
Gotcha, gotcha. All right, Unified 49 going into enemy territory. You excited about that?
like kind of, but then also not really. Like I'm not intimidated at all. Like I actually kind of like it. Like I'm a little bit crazy. I've This is not the first time I fought a guy in his hometown. You know what I mean? And it's not that big of a deal. I like I said, I like it. I like being in the blue corner. I like when my back's against the wall. And to be honest, I mean it's Canada, dude. It's not like it's Brazil. like and like I don't know, they can take like insult to that, but it's really more of a compliment. Like I've had a few Brazilian girlfriends that are all fucking nuts. Like the Canadians seem cool, all of that, by the way. So it's not like I don't think if I like knock this guy out, I'm gonna get murdered on my way walking out to backstage. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I don't. And then at the end of the day, it's like I'm not going to win by a decision, so I'm not worried about the judges. I'm going there to finish a fight, and I'm not going to leave it up to the judges. So I don't. It doesn't really matter what the fight is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for sure. Graham Park, what were your thoughts on the matchup?
I think it's great. Um, I think he's kind of been like spoon fed a lot of guys. I think he's had some tough fights, um, and that hasn't really turned out that great for him. Um, just my observation. I mean, he definitely has some skill. I think he's a brown belt. Um, Seems like he wants to take the fight to the mat and get a little ground and pound. Um, Trains with some good guys. I know he trains with Tanner Bozer and whatnot. So a lot of respect on that end. But nothing too glaring that sticks out that, you know, if the fight goes to the mat, I feel more than comfortable. If it stays striking, I feel more than comfortable. He seems to finish a lot of his fights early on. Like I said, I don't think he's faced a crazy high level of competition. Um, so I think the longer the fight goes on, I think the worse it's going to be for him. Like I'm coming down from elevation. I'm already kind of a grindy guy. Um, like I said, I think it takes a little while for guys to figure me out. Um, and then, like I said, so I think the longer the fight goes on, the better for me. But like I said, if I can get out of there in the first round, they don't pay us by the hour. So
For sure, man. And both of you guys like to finish your fights in the first round. So on paper, it should be a very fun fight for as long as it lasts. And with all that being said, December 17th, how do you get your hand raised?
I could see it a lot of different ways, man. I feel like I switch up my stances quite a bit. So he seems to have a little bit of trouble with some southpaws. I could see it ending on the feet. Um, I feel like he's going to try and take me down. I think that would probably be bad for him. Even if he does take me down, I'm more than comfortable off my back. I think I have more subs than I do knockouts. Um, I'm going to be the bigger guy. I'm going to have better cardio. I'm going to hit harder. Um, so if he takes me down and I reverse it, I could see me finishing with strikes from the top. I go for subs too, but nothing like some good ground and pound. But I see a TKO finish.
Awesome, man. And finally, last two questions for me. Actually, maybe who are some of your main training partners this time? I know that Elevation has killers after killers, but who were like your main ones?
Man,
Same
we have such a
same
good
group.
room. We had I mean, just for today, we had like 8 solid freaking guys, man. So of course we've got Curtis, who is just Curtis isn't even fun to go with anymore. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I was that was the other thing. So like before that fight in March, I was like his main guy. And I think with like I said, I was fluctuating weight pretty bad. And then like I said, I'm his main guy and Curtis doesn't like getting hit. So then sometimes when I would hit him, man, he would just dude, I mean, he's like 300 pounds sometimes, or damn near, and it's just like, and he doesn't like, he's not fat, you know what I mean? So he's a hell of a guy. So we got him, of course. We got Zach Pauga, who just fought in the finale of the Ultimate Fighter heavyweight, who's just great guy, you know what I mean? Um, and then I've also been working closely. So Zach's actually coming out with me for the fight. I've also been getting a lot of rounds in with Devin Clark. He's a UFC 205er, just fantastic wrestler. Just a total stud. And then of course we got some other guys. I mean, Vanilla Thunder. He's one of our guys. I think it's 3-0 heavyweight.
Yeah, savage,
Yeah,
savage.
yeah. He's. I mean, that guy's good. Man. You should interview that guy. He's a character. He's
Yeah.
gonna. We're looking for houses together. He's gonna be one of my roommates.
Oh, fucking
Um,
goddamn.
yeah, no, he's such a. I don't even know if I could handle it. He's a character, dude. He's that's a whole other discussion. But yeah, so we got Vanilla, we got Neil Magny, of course. Just I'll drill with him a lot, but he's just such a smart mind. And that brings me to I train with Razak Al Hassan a lot. He's coming out with me for the fight too, and he's so good everywhere, man. I mean, like 12 first round knockouts, but he's like, an African champ in judo. And I mean, he's probably the highest fight IQ out of anybody I've ever met. One of his buddies, Phil, he's coming out with us. Who's just this Tongan kickboxer. So, dude, we've had such a good room over there right now. And it's just two coaches and like, 6, 7, 8 guys. So it's just a lot of like focus and all of there. And everybody brings something new. So, dude, it's a rough room. It's a really rough room. Like, I'm tired right now, man. Like, I
Yeah,
was excited to do the interview, but then when I got out of training, I was like, dude, fuck, man. Like, I'm so tired today. Like,
yeah, dude. Those are some fucking killer names that you just named. And then what I want to ask too is like, you get this win, you get this belt. Do you think the UFC gives you a call, or do you think you're gonna have to get one more fight? Like, where's your mindset at?
dude, that would be awesome if they did. Like, I'm training with guys in the UFC all the time. Like, I'm ready. Like, I've never said no to a fight. Like, literally never. I am always down. I am always training. I take a week off after a fight. I'm always in shape. I'm always here. So like after I fight, I'm gonna go do a little hunting. It's right, around the holidays, my birthday, but then I'm right back because Zach's got to fight. Devin's got to fight. Razak's got to fight. Like all these guys. So I'm there. I'm ready. Do I think the UFC is going to give me a call? Probably not. If something happens, hell yeah, I'll be there. What I'm counting on is for contender for next summer.
Okay.
And what I really wanted, I saw that they have a heavyweight champ that I'm not that impressed with. I forget his name, Jamil, something like that. I think he's actually American too. I mean, screw it. Why not? If I win the light heavyweight strap, why not go for the heavyweight one? And then I think if I do that, we get that sometime in the spring. I think that'd be pretty hard to deny me a spot on contender, or even just a straight up call to the UFC.
Yeah, awesome. Well, looks like you got a plan, man, and it all sounds really good. One last thing, probably the most important question of the whole thing: are you keeping that beard, or are you shaving it a little bit?
So I don't know, man. I shaved my head this summer, and the hair's growing back. So I think it's gonna be long enough to be stylish by the fight. Now the beard, I don't know what I'm gonna do with because all of our coaches and Zach just decided to get mustaches. So now I'm kind of, and I was looking at it in the mirror, and I'm like, I mean, I could do a mustache. Like, I don't see why I shouldn't do a mustache. So I don't know. I'm either gonna keep it. Um, my girlfriend wants me to keep it. She gets ticked every time I shave it, so there's that. But I don't know, man. There's a solid chance I show up in Canada with a mustache. We'll see.
Awesome, man. Well, I can't wait to see it. Can't wait for your fight, man. Thank you so much for your time, Ty. I really appreciate it. If you want to plug your social media, plug any sponsors you might have, and if you want to thank anybody, the floor is yours.
Yeah, Ty Flores 205 on Instagram. Thank you to Dave Fish from Paradigm for getting me the matchup. I mean, that guy Grimes, he was the one that got me that offer for CFFC too. So I mean, he's awesome. And of course, my coaches and my team. I mean, best team in the world, I think. Like I said, close knit team. Guys are all close together, and just like I said, just a killer room. And the work we've been putting in is going to show on December 17th.